Good afternoon, everyone. That's pretty loud. Okay, so excited for this national book tour for Journey for Justice, the life of Larry Itliong. At this time, I'm going to talk a little bit about Gail Romasanta. Gail Romasanta received her Bachelor of Arts Creative Writing from San Francisco State University. Received a scholarship to attend the Master of Fine Arts Writing program at California College of the Arts. Since then, her work as a writer and editor has been published in newspapers, magazines, books, online, and featured on radio and television programs on KQED, KPFA, NBC, and Fox News affiliates. Gail's work in theater, film, and music has been featured in events and venues such as the Houston Asian American Music Festival, San Francisco Asian American Jazz Festival, and the Cultural Center of the Philippines. She is a former artistic director of Bindlestiff Studio, the only Filipino-American theater in the United States. She also co-founded California College of the Arts Literary Arts Journal 1111, and her first children's book, Beautiful Eyes, which she will share a little bit with you today, is part of the curriculum for the San Francisco Unified School District. She also co-composed the music for the first Google Philippines campaign commercial in 2014. Currently, Gail is the founder and owner of the Bridge and Delta Publishing, producing the first ever series of its kind, 8 books on Filipino-American history for 4th through 9th grade students, their teachers, and families. The first book, Journey for Justice, the life of Larry Itliong, co-written with the late and great Dr. Don Mabalon, was launched on October 27, 2018. Okay, help me give a warm welcome to Gail Romasanta.
Thank you so much, everybody. All day today, since this morning I got here in Delano until now, I just feel very emotional. I feel very honored to be here. And I feel almost, I've been talking a lot and I've been writing a lot, but I'm almost without words with how important and meaningful this trip to see you all and to be here with the Delano community is for me. It is a homecoming for this book, which was a long time coming. Journey for Justice, the life of Larry Itliong. And I'll tell you guys a little bit about myself, how I got here, how I got to Larry's story, and how this story ended up getting published. And I was born in Manila, Philippines, and I immigrated here. And when I immigrated here, my mother's side of her family were already in Stockton, and they were farm workers. And I was raised with my parents and surrounded by and raised by the Manos. So how many of you have read Journey for Justice, the life of Larry Itliong? Some of you? Awesome. And so you guys know a little bit what a Mano is. A Mano is the older generation in this book and in history of Filipino-American farm workers, or what they were known as back then, Filipino farm workers who came here. Either they went to Hawaii or they came here to the United States, and they were predominantly working in the fields. And we did not grow up with a lot of money. One of my earliest memories of school, while I loved it, was really painful at times. I think some of them, I would get bullied, I would get made fun of. People knew we didn't have a lot of money, and they knew what neighborhood I came from. I remember some of the memories that I have is I would get free lunch tickets, and I would feel so pained because the teacher would have envelopes with everyone who received a free lunch ticket, and the teacher would call our names up to go to the front of the class to collect our tickets. And I was like, oh my God, I have to go up there and get this. And I would cry to my parents. And I would tell them, I was able to communicate with them about this. And they would tell me, get an education. You are smart. You will go far. Just make sure you get the education. And those people who are making fun of you, those people who have hurtful words for you because of who you are, who you came from, they don't know your story. And they will see. They will see when you get an education and you'll be able to talk about who you are, your history, and its value, because they do not see the value in you right now. So I implore all of you, which means I urge all of you here today, all of you students, to know and understand that your story and your family's history matters. That no matter what anybody tells you, no matter what you see on television, you should leave here today and you should want to tell it. After you read Journey for Justice, I hope you understand that this story was a long time in the making, and no matter how long it took for us to get this book out, it doesn't matter because it's out now. And I want you all to understand that is the importance of being persistent and just keeping on going no matter what. And so I was able to write this book with Dr. Delano, and she's a researcher. And she too came from Stockton and grew up in Stockton, which is a farming community about 4 hours away from here, very similar to Delano. And she went to community college. And she went there for 2 years, and then she went to UCLA, and then after UCLA, she went to Stanford. And what is known is that she is possibly the first Pinay, what happened to Dawn? There it is. She is the first Pinay, which is a Filipino-American woman, to graduate from Stanford University with a PhD in history. Anyone know what a PhD is? No? I see. There's a little girl in the very, very back over there. Right here. Yes, gray pink. What's a PhD? Yes, so it's the most highest level of education, right? That's what you're saying? That's exactly it. She got a PhD, the highest level, so she's a doctor. She's a doctor in history. And so I'm going to play a little bit about her, and you will know, when you read Journey for Justice, The Life of Larry Itliong, know that this is her work, over 20 years worth of research. She did not read the information that you read in this book in another book and rewrite it. She actually had to sift through documents at the UFW archives in Detroit at Wayne State University. She also had to go to other sources to find her material. Where, if you're a professional historian or if you're a historian trying to find out about somebody, where else could you find this story if it's not written? Teal? Mm-hmm. Yes. So what kind of places would you go if you're going to find someone's story? Right there. The internet? Well, back then, when Dr. Mabalan was doing her research over 20 years ago, there was no internet. So if you didn't even have a computer, where would you find it? At the library. Where else? You would try to find the person. Now, if the person wasn't there, who else could you talk to? You could talk to relatives and you could talk to them. Who else? Your hand was up. Who else? Where else? How about finding their friends? You find their friends, right? And you would talk to them, and you would get the history from them, and you can write it down, and you could find people who were there at the same time. You can find letters that you wrote to each other. So maybe you may not do letters so much now, but maybe email letters now if you're doing research. So that's all that Dr. Don McCollum did to knit the story of Larry Itliong together, and it was very important for her. And when we wrote this book, we decided that we couldn't wait for a publisher to give us permission to write this book because it took so long, or it takes so long to find somebody who will say yes to your story. I read Already Known. I wrote this book, Beautiful Eyes. This was a children's book that found its home at a small publisher. It was a publishing house called Meritage Press, owned by a Filipino-American woman. And she inspired me because I never knew that you can have your own publishing house and just wake up one day and decide to do your own publishing house and find people to write stories and publish them. So how long do you think it took me to find this publisher and publish this story? And this story is about I Have Beautiful Eyes. And it says in Tagalog, Mata ay maganda. There's another paper that says, I have a beautiful nose, ang aking ilong ay maganda. So I wrote this because I wanted students, and especially my family and the kids in my family, to know that they were beautiful. They had to know that they were beautiful. If you don't understand or know that you're beautiful, then it'd be really hard for you to love and understand your history. So this is the first step to acknowledging who you are, who your family is, and to find the beauty. And so, how many of you think it took 3 years for me to find someone to publish? Just raise your hands. 3 years? Okay. 5 years? How about 8 years? Okay, good. How about 10 years? Yes. Okay, for those of you who said 10 years, it took me 10 years to find somebody to say yes to this book. 10 years. I sat on this book for 10 years. So when Dawn and I started working about Larry Itliong, we knew we couldn't wait. We couldn't wait. We couldn't wait for someone to give us permission to tell this story. We couldn't wait for someone to give us permission to tell this story about this, and to tell this story about our community and our people. And so what I urge all of you is that when you tell your story, you don't need permission. You don't need to ask for it. And how many times have you felt when you could get to do something without someone's permission? How does that feel when you know that you have that freedom? Yes, sir, you. It feels great? Yeah. How else do you feel if you don't need someone's permission to do something? Yeah, it's great because it's good to read a lot. That is true. And so you dig more into the research, and it's very freeing. Books are very freeing and help you see that you don't need permission in a lot of things.